take us with you wherever you may roam with the free andrewhogue.com iPhone and Android app. So download today. This is andrewhogue.com, Australia's only dedicated 24/7 rock metal radio station, and it's my pleasure to welcome to the airwaves, and we'll be heading back to Australia with Trivium, a fantastic lineup of bands happening in November in Australia. We do have Peter Iwers from In Flames. I hope I got that correct, Peter. Welcome to andrewhogue.com.
Yeah, you did. Thank you very much. Kudos on the pronunciation there. That was awesome.
Well, you got to do your homework. But let's jump right into, of course, the latest record, the band's 11th studio album that was recently released, titled Siren Charms. How do you feel about the record now since it's out there and obviously in the public domain? And, you know, what do you feel about it now?
I'm very pleased with it, of course. We finished it at the end of last year, and we mixed it in January this year. So I've kind of been feeling like I held on to a secret for over 6 months now, and I'm really happy that I'm able to share my secrets with everybody, you know, because I like it so much. It's, like you said, it's our 11th studio album, and it feels great to be able to do this and to even to go into the studio and come out with something that we love still after so long, and I'm very, very proud of it.
Now let's talk, I guess, in a comparison in some way. In Flames has kind of got the Metallica syndrome from fans. There's a division amongst that. I guess even since going back to Reroute to Remain in 2002, which certainly did show a shift in the band's musical direction. Now, to my ears, being a fan of In Flames from the very early 90s, has just shown that the band has progressed over time. It wasn't a dramatic shift, but some fans get a little bit upset when the shift is probably 2 steps higher than the standard one. Now, how do you feel with that sort of division there of people just hanging on to the past and won't let go, but others are adapting to the new sort of sound of In Flames, which I guess isn't so new? How do you and the rest of the band, deal with that kind of division of fans who like the old stuff and hate the new and vice versa?
Well, we don't really deal with it because we write the music that we like, regardless of what other people feel like, and I think that's the only thing you can do to avoid, falling into a big black hole, kind of. You know, you have to do what you like, and in order to be able to look yourself in the mirror. We write music that we like, and then we put it out. But I do read the comments, and sometimes I get a little sad, and sometimes I get a little angry, and sometimes I just don't care. I feel that it's important that this album affects people. If there were to be total silence, then I'd be worried. I remember when Metallica released the records that made everybody started to scream. I wasn't one of them. I chose not to listen to some of the records because it wasn't to my liking. But and I think that's the way to cope with music that you don't like anymore. Just listen to something else. If you like the older records, listen to them. If you don't like the new one, don't listen. But I think it's a lack of energy when you actually log into Facebook or whatever, and you actually go into our homepage, you read a comment, and then you say, I hate you. That's just stupid to me. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry, you know. But I think one good way of experiencing new music is listen to the music, forget that it's In Flames, just listen to it. If you like it, then you keep on listening to it. Just don't compare it with something we did 20 years ago. Compare it to a blank canvas, kind of. You know, you go in, you listen to the music, decide do you like it, do you not like it, do you like some, whatever, fine. But don't focus on the negative energy. That'll just, at the end of the day, that'll just make you exhausted.
Well, that's the truth. And I mean, certain fans do, as we said, are so entrenched in a certain era that they have trouble listening to something because they think, is this the same person that wrote that song compared to what they're doing now? But it's definitely a good attitude to have. I mean, if you're not into it, just don't listen to it. I mean, I know a lot of people exert their passion. We get it a lot with the station. Some people don't like a specific era of a band that we feature on the playlist, and then you play the classic stuff and everyone's happy. So we realise you can't keep everyone happy, but as we also know too, the internet's given everybody a voice, whereas I guess in the earlier years of the band's career pre-internet, you were kind of at the mercy of some arrogant journo that might write a positive review in a magazine and hope that, it will be a good one, and the rest of the fans would kind of adapt. But now everyone has their own sort of opinion on what's happening. But let's talk a bit about, I guess, the band being around as long as you have. Excuse me, and in the success that the band's managed to retain with more than twice as many bands than ever before. I mean, are you feeling saturated going out there and touring, knowing there's about 40 bands that are out there with you that you have never heard of before? Do you keep up with the scene?
I do actually. I have had a radio station for a couple of years, a radio show in Gothenburg. It's on hiatus right now, but it has been. I've been kind of forced to keep on with new music. To be able to be up to date, and I think that's been very healthy for me. So I do keep up with a lot of the new music, and I'm trying to be aware of what's out there, and I think there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of new bands coming out doing really good music, and there's a lot of old bands keep on making good music, and I mean it's great for me. I'm really psyched to still be able to tour, and I'm really happy to be able to tour with some of these new young artists, that's been out there, that they're fresh and new, and I think, it's an honor to still be able to do this, regardless of old or new bands.
Well,
it's a very boring and political answer, but that's actually how I feel.
Well, honestly, it's actually a very unique response, because a lot of bands are looking at the sort of doom and gloom aspect of the industry itself, because unfortunately most people are still trapped in the old model and don't want to accept the fact that it's dying, and they have to adapt to something new. And when you adapt to something new, it is endless the amount of things you can do. And I think there are more fans out there listening to music than ever before, and we know there's more bands out there than ever before. And the fact that you enjoyed touring with new and up-and-coming bands is definitely a very good attitude. I think a lot of people can learn from your attitude, Peter. Maybe some of the people on Blabbermouth, possibly.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the only thing that we will never change is, that we will never have our music adapt. We always make music that we like. But everything else, obviously, it's an ongoing process, and we want to keep on playing music. We want to keep on touring, and then we have to do what is necessary to do that.
So you never actually go back and listen to the previous In Flames and go, because some people say, it's a mixture of this, it's a bit of that, and I mean, it just seems like an extension of the band's current sound anyway, but always throwing in, a few other uncharted sort of explorations. But do you ever sort of go back to the back catalogue sometimes and listen to what you've done in the past? And how do you feel about some of the earlier sort of material, even when you sort of joined the band from 97 onwards?
Yeah, well, I'm very proud of everything that I've been a part of, and I'm proud of, since I kind of keep this heritage going, though. I wasn't part of Horacle or Jester Race, but I toured those records, I toured Horacle, and I'm very proud of that too. I don't really go back to reminisce, but I go back to listen to a lot of the records. A lot of times when we're trying to choose a set list, for instance, you have so many different songs to choose from. Then I go back into the records and I listen, and if somebody else proposes a song that I don't really remember, or maybe perhaps I've never played it, then I go back and listen to that sense. But I never go back and think, this was the way, I'm very proud of everything that we do, and for each record we develop. We've never made the same record twice, and we never will, because to us that wouldn't make sense. We need to develop, and we need to evolve in between each record to be able to still do this, to be happy.
Are the rest of the band as positive and motivated as you when it comes to your attitude of playing music? Because it's definitely refreshing. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, especially now. If we've been home for a year now. We haven't played a show since September last year, and I think that we're all very, very pumped to be out there, and we're very happy. But I mean, being on tour is kind of why we started doing this in the first place. Making records, sure, it's fun. Sure, it's there's some good times in the studio, but it's definitely on stage and traveling around the world that we all love. That's the favorite thing.
Well, let's talk about travelling around the world, because you will be in our neck of the woods shortly with Trivium. A fantastic lineup too, two great bands. And the first show is on Wednesday the 19th at the Tivoli in Brisbane, Friday the 21st at the Roundhouse in Sydney. Now, the Melbourne show on the Sunday has sold out, and there's been a second show and final show added, which is on Monday the 24th of November at 170 Russell, and then on Tuesday finishing in Adelaide at HQ. That's on the 25th of November. We can get you, Peter, to choose your two favourite In Flames tracks, both from the new record and also one of your favourites from the past bunch of the back catalogue, and just a couple of final words to Australian fans.
Sorry, do you want me to choose the songs, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I'll choose Paralyzed from the new record. I think it's very dynamic and it symbolizes a mix in between the old and the new In Flames, I think, and it's very hitty chorus that I really like. And I'm going to choose. I forget the song title. It's still new. Let me see. It's called Everything Is Gone. Those two songs from the new record, I think they're really good, and they are very. They're a good mix of In Flames 2014 and onwards. That's something that I'd really like to play. And an old one, you say?
Yep.
Let's see. I'll play From a Sense of Purpose. I'll play Drenched in Fear. Yeah, thank you so much for supporting In Flames, and thank you so much for listening to this. And I really hope to see all of you on this upcoming tour.
All right, thanks again for your time, Peter. We'll play some In Flames right now here on andrewhogue.com.